Alright, so forget what happened at the end of part 2. Now part 2 we couldn't get this thing working, or something with the wiring wasn't right. And I was suspecting it was something to do with the way I had the pickup going, but I was correct. I did a thing. That thing is, I got it to work. I'll bring you on in just a second and show you what all I did. But listen to this. This is the sound I was telling you we wanted to hear. So these are magnetic. The pickups are magnetic. And it works with the volume knob. So it works now. And there's no unnecessary grounding issues. I don't hear anything other than some feedback from the amp. That's the way, because I had the gain set up on the amp. But the electronics work just fine. Got it hooked up. Let me bring you in and show you what's going on with it. Alright, to kind of explain what I think really was going on when I turned the amp off, I no longer need it. When I spliced the wires, I thought I was going to cheat. Actually, yeah, I was cheating a little bit and using the old wire that was already hooked up to the volume knob, which went to this pickup. So what happened was I wasn't getting a very good clean connection on these wires, and I was doubling them up and every which way blew. I had all wires connected together and soldered together. Well, they weren't making a correct connection, which caused it to not work properly. This is the original pickup that came off with that volume knob. This is a brand new pickup that came with the guitar kit. So what I ended up doing was I just went ahead, turned the soldering iron off, and pulled these old wires off and connected it straight to the back of the pot for the volume knob. And I went ahead and spliced the wires back together, the original wires that came off this, because I had cut it in half. They were originally the pickup wire was this long. And what I did originally to make it fit, because I didn't need all that excess wire, I snipped it. So I reattached the wire, resoldered it down originally to directly to the volume pot beneath, and now it's working without fail now. So what does this mean? What does this tell us? This tells us that we are now ready to start throwing the last little pieces onto this thing and start making it look like a guitar. Now, I know I'm going to get a million questions. Why is it so small? Well, my fault. When we went on Amazon to purchase the kit, we thought we were getting a adult-sized guitar. When we hit submit, we paid for it, and upon delivery, we noticed the box was like this, when it was supposed to have been like this. And it was a child's guitar. This is a junior. But I'm going to play it anyway. I mean, you string up the same. The only thing is, the scale's kind of small. Now, what I want to do is I want to try to double check where I have the bridge measured, because the screws holes were off on the pickup. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that the holes are going to be wrong for the bridge as well. And I'll show you how I determine where to place the bridge on this. The saddle and bridge on this. That way you'll know. So let me bring y'all back in. Alright, so when we're talking placing the bridge, we're talking about scale length and where you want to place it. It's very important because of intonation. You go up too far, you probably get a sharp intonation and it won't tune right. You go back too far, same thing. So you want to make sure you place the bridge just right. It's very important. Now what do? Is I take my tape measure, if I find one these days. Yeah. Dadgummit. Give me a second. Alright, took me 10 hours, but I finally found a measuring tape. What you're doing is, whatever the distance is between where the nut is on the neck to the 12th fret, it's the same distance from the 12th fret to where your bridge placement is supposed to be. So if we have this here, which there's no nut in there, so we measure 10 1/4 inches where the back of that nut's supposed to be. 10 1/4 inches. So we come here, lock in at 10 1/4 behind the 12th, and it looks correct. I am still right on the money. Yep, right on the money still. So everything looks alright, so we can go ahead and screw the bridge down now. Attach it. I wonder if I got enough juice in my drills to help me out here. Ooh, sounding pretty weak. Sounds even better. I'll take it. And I also go ahead and like to mention that before I did any work as far as staining it, painting it, and sanding it, I went ahead and I pre-drilled my holes. That was the first thing I did, is I measured and pre-drilled. So that way I won't have to go through the finish, even though I've already scratched it up a little bit. Go through the finish and scar up the finish, pre-drilling holes. I've already done that. So everything was already in place. So let me find the right screw, which I think these might be them. They just don't seem like they'd be long enough. But we're going to find out. They either are or they're not. So let's find out. And they're already pre-drilled, so this should go in there pretty easy. And one of these days I'm going to get some hands that function. That's my biggest goal in life. Have my hands function. I should have 5 of these, shouldn't I? That's what's worrying me here. I don't have the full amount that I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to have 5 of these to go in there for the bridge. Hang on a minute, this was too big. So I can spread that out a little bit. This one feels a little better. And I'm not going to run it down all the way yet. Let it sit right there. Run it down all the way. Just take your time here. You know, you don't want to get in a hurry when you're doing stuff like this. Then you just get ahead of yourself and mess yourself up in the process. Get in there. I should have another one here. But I got extra screws though. I'll fish around in my little catch-all, at least not been, and see if I can find another screw. I'm sure I got one that'll fit. Get that neck out of the way. Let's see what I got as far as extra pieces in these things. Is to get a bend right here. See what we got here. Dig around here. This should have. Wait. I think I just seen something. It's not the exact kind, but it might do me some good, maybe. Since I'm missing most of my stuff, we'll find out. The damn pause button on this recording that I'm doing with the camera is so small. I have to be real careful because just below it is the stop button. And I gotta be real careful or I'd end recording and this becomes a two-parter real fast. Alright, now I'm gonna put all these down now. Now we're gonna run them down. You don't want to go too much because you can strip the holes out and it ain't gonna hold. So you want to go easy. There you go. Go all Hulk on them, just be easy. Come on, baby. Come on. Why don't you? There's always one bunch. Damn thing is going dead, that's what it is. I spend my time trying to charge up my batteries most of the time with this stuff. There it is. Got it. Double check them. You're free spinning in there, but I don't think you'll be much of a problem. That one's holding good. And that's it. So are you. Maybe I just don't have you down all the way. That's what it was. Didn't have them down all the way. There it is. Signed, sealed, delivered. Almost. Alright, so the bridge is in. It's ready. And it's set. It's starting to look like a guitar yet. It's looking pretty cool. I might change that knob out. I got some extra ones here. And the neck really needs to be oiled down. It's been sitting in that shed for almost a year. You can tell it. He's got a little bit of haze on the frets. And the frets, for it to be, you know, inexpensive guitar, has really got some nice fretworks on it. I mean, they're smooth. I mean, it ain't snagging. I might have to, I don't know if I gotta level it yet. A lot of times when you get these kits in, you gotta really do the work yourself. You gotta sand it. There it is. I should have put a disclaimer. When you first get these, you will have to sand. You gotta do your own sanding and everything. So what I did is I started out with my roughest grit, which I had a 60 grit sandpaper, and just started sanding it down. And I finally went up in the numbers. I went from 60 to 80. 80 to like a 120, and then I had like a 220 after that, and 220 was my finest grit I had, so that's what I used to finish it. And it's smooth. I mean, it feels damn good. The stains really turned out good. You can see kind of where it's kind of a different kind of hazy look, where I kind of missed with the clear coat. But I'm gonna hit it with clear coat one more time after we're done here today. So now that we got the electronics hooked up, we got the bridge on there. Now we're going to focus in on these tuning pegs, and maybe I can get that done in this video, maybe-ish, maybe, because these things have been sitting in this bowl for almost a year, so they're ready to be placed on there, and these are the easiest parts. So let me get on to that. We'll go ahead and get these tuning pegs on here. Cut this zip tie off. This was my hanging tie that I used when I was doing the stain work. Let that dry so I'd hang it up. We can cut that off now. Yay, it's been christened. Done. I'll sink one or two in here. I'll show you how I do this. Then I'm going to finish the step on my own. These come with these little, what do you call them? I forget what the name of these are, these little things here. Nuts, pretty much. Bottle nuts or something like that. Shaft nuts. I don't know, something like that. We just take that off. And then, this is what they call an inline set of tuners. And they go a certain way. Some guitars, they have the opposite directional kind of tuners. And, which, you know, they run on different sides of the head. But this is what they call an inline. So if you're ever ordering tuners for your guitar, if you got a set that looks like this, straight across, you want to order the inline tunings. Now, let me go ahead and get this little screw in here. And I had a small screwdriver, but I put it away on myself because I thought I was done, but nope, never done. I always figure out, let's do a little bit more work. And I'm pretty sure these are the screws to go in the back of this. Maybe. Let's see. It does seem a little big, don't it? What's going on here? I should have labeled these screws or left them in the bags. Let's put that on. Pre-drilled the holes for these too. It makes it a whole lot easier. I'm gonna give that neck a little bit more support. I say that, and It's just not. What in the devil's going on here? Oh my. Maybe you, since you're a little bit more pointed. Yeah, that's working a lot better. Get you in there. And you put these little screws in here for obvious reasons, because if you don't, it'll just, they'll spin around, and you don't have to have these in here, but you need to put them in there because it'll help hold it steady. So let me drop another one, kind of show you how this works. It's pretty simple, and I think these are a 10 mil. These nut ends right here. Drop it on in. I won't get in there, baby. Ooh. You're a little rough, ain't you? You're rough around the edges. I don't want to try this at home too much, but maybe. There it goes. Sometimes you just got to get a little creative on how you approach things. Let's see here. It's real easy to put these on. Nothing really hard about it. Just take your time. Make sure it's done right. Most of the fun's putting these things together. It's not really having a guitar, but it's going through the task of putting it together. Kind of like a Lego set, Alright, so now these little shaft nuts, I guess I'm going to call them. Barrel nuts. Okay, there you go. Oh, nope. You got to put the washer on, but make sure you put the washer on smooth side up. Shaft nuts. That's what she said. Alright, so you just do it just like that. So I'm gonna put this last one on. This is where I'm gonna end it, guys. This the third part here, that's where I'm gonna end it. And Kimberly just scared the shit out of me coming around the house. So I'm gonna continue putting on these tuners. Next time you come, we're gonna get it cleaned up, and she might be ready for the set of strings. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Goodbye, y'all, and I'll see you when I see you.